I'd like to close with a story about one of the world's most interesting innovations by, quite frankly, one of the least likely innovators in a field that's not really known for innovation. Dick was a high school sophomore. He was thin, growing. He was soon going to be 6 feet 4 inches. All muscle, loved to play sports. His favorite event was the high jump. The problem for Dick, though, was that he couldn't jump 5 feet, which was the minimum height to make the high school team. And Dick was trying to make the team. He went up to the coach. He said, "Hey, coach, you got any tips? I can't seem to get over 5 feet. I really want to make the team." Well, Dick, if you want to get over the bar, you got to learn some of the techniques. You got to learn the Western roll or the scissor jump. Try one of those, and I think you'll do a lot better. All right, coach. So Dick went off to learn these techniques. So the Western roll is sort of, if you think about the high jump bar here as being the back of a horse, the Western roll is sort of putting your foot in the stirrup and jumping over the horse. The problem is it takes a lot of coordination on the run-up, and unfortunately, Dick wasn't really that coordinated. We talk about people that weren't born with a super talent. Well, Dick was athletic, but not coordinated. So he went and tried the other technique. It's called the scissor jump. Now, I sort of think about it as the Rockettes jump. Because what you do is you run up to the bar and you kick one leg up and then you kick the other one over. And it doesn't get quite as high, but it's decent. And with the scissor jump, Dick was able to get to 5 feet 4 inches, right about here. He made the team. He was so excited for about a day. Dick realized that, okay, he got 5 feet 4 inches, but he wasn't getting any higher. The rest of his high school team were doing close to 6 feet. And for the entire fall, Dick just couldn't get any higher than 5 feet 4 inches. He was really, I wouldn't say unmotivated, but frustrated. But what Dick did when he was frustrated was he tried to think about how he could solve this problem. And things didn't change until a bus ride in 1963. Dick was on his way to a Rotary meet, and he was sitting there looking out the window thinking about, how do I get over the bar? What is my problem? And he realized that he could get his feet over the bar and his shoulders, but his midsection was always hanging low and would knock the bar over. And he started to think, is there some way I could contort my body just at the last minute to be able to get my midsection up? And that's when Dick started to think about different ways about contorting his body. And he thought eventually about a back jump, right? Well, think about it. When you go and do a back jump, you throw your shoulders back and your midsection lifts up, right? Well, maybe when Dick's going over the bar, if he twisted a little bit and did a little bit of a back bend, he could push that midsection up. Now, he had to be careful because he didn't want to go over the bar backwards because he'd break his neck if he landed on his head, right? So it was a balance of getting back and a little bit of a twist and keeping himself alive. Now, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Dick is a little bit different than the rest of us. Certainly different than the average athlete. The average athlete would have gone back to practice, tried out these new ideas, see if they worked. But not Dick. Dick realized he wasn't going anywhere, wasn't jumping any higher, and he was at a meet. Why not give it a try? So Dick lines up for his first jump. He runs up to the bar, a little bit of a twist and a back bend, lands. 5 feet 6 inches. Pretty good. His highest jump ever. Let's continue. Second jump. Dick runs up to the bar, kicks up, leans back, more, lands. 5 feet 8 inches. If Dick keeps up at this rate, he'll be jumping 100 feet before the end of the year. This was fantastic. One final jump, third jump of the day. Dick lines up. He runs up, twist, full back bend, lands. 5 feet 10 inches. Dick just jumped over my head. In one meet, Dick had raised his jump height by 6 inches. To put that in perspective, the world record, the Olympic world record, changes by 6 inches every 30 to 40 years. Dick had done it in about an hour. This was fantastic. With his new technique, Dick jumped higher and higher and higher. And in high school, senior year, he could jump his own height, 6 feet 4 inches. The press loved this. And they asked Dick about his technique. And Dick said, well, you know, it's kind of like a flop. And the journalist ran with it. And thus was born the Fosbury flop, after Dick Fosbury. A 6'7" jump that summer got him a scholarship to Oregon State. And when he got there, his coach said, hey, Dick, come on over here. You've been really creative. You made a great deal of progress. But if you want to compete nationally and get over 7 feet, I really think it's time you start focusing on the Western roll. Everyone jumping over 7 feet is doing it. I think you've got the technique and the talent. I think you can do it. You need to focus, put all of your effort into learning the Western roll. That's what the best are doing. All right, coach. Does this sound familiar? To be successful, we need to do what successful people are doing. Best practices lead to success, but perhaps not to innovation. So Dick went off and he worked as hard as he could on the Western roll. And one day he saw that his coach was watching him to see how he performed, and Dick was going to do his best. So he runs up, and he does. Dick jumped with the Western roll 5 feet 6 inches. Dick had lost an entire foot with best practices. His coach was beside himself. He actually said to Dick, Dick, I think maybe you should quit. Maybe you should try the triple jump or some other sport. And he walked off. Gave up on Dick. But Dick didn't give up on himself. He realized, might as well go back to my flop, right? I got nothing better to do. And that summer, in 1967, Dick won the NCAA championship with a 7 feet 2.5 inch jump. And earned him a place on the 1968 Olympic team in Mexico City, where Dick Fosbury won the gold medal for the first time with a Fosbury flop. Think about it. Think about something that you're below average at. Think about something in high school you couldn't even make the team. And 6 years later, you get a gold medal at the Olympics. You go from being below average to being number one in the world. That is what innovation can do.